John Holdaway lived a life dedicated to the field of literacy. John Holdaway was born April 7, 1929. He attended Auckland Teachers College and in 1951 received a New Zealand Diploma of Teaching. Dr. Holdaway taught for 10 years. During this time, he was challenged to teach in a rural Maori community impacted by racial dissonance. This led Holdaway to a life as a researcher and theorist, author, clinician, professor, curriculum and program developer, among more. He collaborated and shared many views with Dr. Marie Clay. Amidst all of the great accomplishments, Holdaway regards raising his 5 children as the most valuable lessons in his professional life. In 1999, Holdaway was inducted into the Reading Hall of Fame for his dedication and advancements in literacy learning. John Holdaway believed in balancing the theoretical with the practical. His theory of literacy development has 3 components. The first component is the developmental nature of literacy learning. The second component involves the 4 processes that Holdaway finds central to the learning of literacy. The third component focuses on methods of teaching literacy in order to promote developmental learning. John Holdaway believed the learning of literacy is a natural developmental occurrence in children, much like the natural development of oral language skills. He believed in the importance of rich literacy experiences and the connection between the child and those who they emulate. John Holdaway believed that the learning of literacy occurs when children observe and mimic the behaviors of others. Through his experiences and research, John Holdaway found that all children have 4 types of common experiences. These progress in order, however, are self-paced and recursive. Children begin very early in life observing the literary behaviors and experiences of their parents and teachers, especially when the parent is engaging in reading and storytelling with the child. This leads to collaboration and guided practice of literacy skills. It involves the parent providing motivation and guidance in developing these skills. Naturally, children begin to practice by emulating these behaviors without direction. These approximations allow children to evaluate and self-correct as they increase these skills. Finally, the child seeks to perform by showing the skills that they have gained, seeking the approval of their parents and teachers. This chart regarding the natural process of learning explains the role of the learner and teacher or parent, and their role as the audience or spectator. As you can see, the independence of the child is increased as the teacher provides less scaffold to learning. The importance of motivation, encouragement, and relationship are vital as the parent or teacher are allowing learning to naturally occur. John Holdaway is most known for developing shared reading. He found and shared his success in recreating the feeling of reading in a parent's lap. Shared reading allows teachers to share a quality piece of literature with the whole class and model authentic literacy skills in action while guiding and supporting students. John Holdaway guides teachers in the careful selection of books and the thoughtful lesson design, organizing before, during, and after reading thoughts. Thus, he is known as the father of shared reading. In connection with this, John Holdaway also developed the idea of using big books within the classroom and began to create large quality books that would assist in developing children's literacy skills. This allowed the read-aloud experience to be more personal and authentic when interacting with a group of students and provided a richer quality than most basal readers of this time. John Holdaway utilized his research in educating teachers and developing various programs focused on early literacy skills and individualized reading. What are your thoughts on shared reading? Please access this Google form to share. John Holdaway contributed many research articles and books revolving around the learning of literacy. A few texts which have impacted the way literacy is taught are Independence in Reading, in which Holdaway focuses on providing enjoyable experiences and promoting independence with quality literature. The Foundations of Literacy, in which Holdaway focuses on applying emergent literacy research into our classroom procedures and provides insight on the Great Debate. And Stability and Change in Literacy Learning, which focuses on the development of self-correction and self-improvement naturally through the 4 processes of observation, collaboration, practice, and performance. The work of Don Holdaway was very inspirational to many.
I would have to say the person that I admire most in education was my strongest mentor, and we became friends as well as colleagues, and that's Don Holdaway, which some younger teachers may not know who he was, but he wrote a book called Foundations of Literacy. He was a New Zealand educator. He worked very closely with Mari Clay, who developed reading recovery. And what I learned from him, he was a genius with literacy. He was the one who invented shared book experience, the big book, putting enlarged text in the classroom, gathering all the kids around. That was his invention. That shared book experience, which millions of teachers use that all over the world. But I think the thing that I loved about him, that endeared him to me, was he saw literacy and bonding with students as inseparable. The whole social nature of learning, what he wrote about. He said something like, we learn the most from people that we love. Or I think it was something like, modeling by people we love is what changes us. And that's always stuck with me. And so in my work in classrooms, the very first thing is to bond with the kids and the teachers and the principal. And usually I do it by telling stories, which is what he did, and by bringing in wonderful literature, which is also what he did.
Don Holdaway's theories and models can still be found in many classrooms today. Teachers create a literacy-rich environment by surrounding students in authentic and meaningful literacy, selecting highly engaging quality literature, modeling and encouraging the literacy skills which you are fostering, establishing supportive relationships that mimic the nurturing environment at home, sharing the reading experience and allowing time for independent practice, and promoting social interactions around literacy. In what ways do you see the work of Don Holdaway exemplified in your classroom? Please share your thoughts here. I look forward to seeing how the works of Don Holdaway may still be present in your classroom today.